Bessie and Abbott, the maids, drag Jane to the red room. She's fighting them the whole way. Jane objects to John Reed being called her master, and Miss Abbott tells Jane that she's less than a servant because she doesn't even work or pay for her room. Bessie and Abbott plunk Jane down on a stool. They threaten to tie her down, but she promises to stay in place. The servants spend a few minutes reminding Jane again that she's just a poor orphan, that she ought to be grateful to her aunt for taking her in, and then they leave and lock her in. Jane tells us about the red room, which is a spare bedroom, furnished in red curtains, red carpet, red tablecloth, reddish wood furniture, although there are a few white things in it too. It's cold, quiet, and lonely. It's the room in which her uncle Mr. Reed died. Jane thinks about how unfair her situation is. She is bullied by her cousins. Her aunt hates her for no reason, and even the servants are unkind to her. She knows that she's the best behaved of the 4 children. Jane, the child, can't understand why she's being mistreated. It's starting to get dark and the wind and rain are still. Jane is beginning to feel afraid in the creepy red room. But then she starts to worry that he might come back from the grave to try to comfort her. Jane sees a weird streak of light, and she thought it would be her uncle's ghost. Bessie and Abbott come running and ask what's the matter. Bessie seems sympathetic when Jane tells her that she thought she saw a ghost. She lets Jane hold her hand, but Abbott thinks that Jane is just trying to trick them into letting her out. Next, Mrs. Reed comes to see what all the noise was. She's mad that the servants didn't obey her orders to leave Jane alone. Mrs. Reed punishes Jane with another hour alone in the red room, and as she leaves, Jane faints.
It is my duty to show you that tricks will not answer. You will now stay here an hour longer, and it is only on condition of perfect submission and stillness that I shall liberate you then.
Oh, Aunt, let me be punished some other way. I cannot endure it. I shall be killed if I...
Silence! This violence is almost repulsive. Go, and never disobey me again.
Aunt Reed, please.
وبتستمر فكرة الباد تريتمنت أو المعاملة السيئة لما قررت ميسيس ريد to lock Jane in the red room. ونقدر نقول إن الريد روم هي symbol أو رمز للمخاوف والصعوبات اللي جين لازم تتغلب عليها في حياتها. وبنلاقي كمان إن جين بتفضل فاكرة الريد روم ومعاناتها فيها على مدار الرواية كلها. وهنا استخدمت تشارلوت برونتي الجوثيك element في مشهد الريد روم، وده كان لما جين thought that she saw a ghost. ونقدر نقول إن جين thought that the ghost of her uncle came to Gateshead to take revenge on Mrs. Reed because she broke her promise to Mr. Reed that she would take care of Jane.